All right, guys. I think we know this, but we don't want to admit it. We may be addicted to social media. It's a hard thing to admit that you may be addicted to something. And I think social media is the one thing that we unknowingly can get addicted to, where if there's any idle time in our day, we're picking up the phone, getting on Instagram, getting on TikTok, and relieving our mind of any type of pressure, giving it some funny moments to laugh at and look at the comments and laugh even harder, especially on TikTok, or to just do something that doesn't make you feel bored, to take up space, even if it's a mindless act. And I really have been confronted. I feel like I've been convicted about how much time I've been spending on social media. And if I'm using today to fill my time up with just being on this phone, I'm not really being intentional with what I'm trying to do in this life when it comes to my goals, when it comes to accomplishments, with all those things that I'm trying to get done. Let's really think about it, y'all. When it comes to social media, it really is a tool. It's a tool for business owners. It's a tool for marketing. It's a tool in which we can connect with our friends, colleagues, random people we see on the street and say like, hey, I like your outfit. What's your Instagram? You know, all that good stuff, right? But it's also something that can be a device that can alter our hearing and what we listen to. It can alter what we see. It can also be something that can lead us into comparison, lead us into self-doubt, lead us into feeling like we're not doing enough in our life because we're looking at someone else and seeing all their accomplishments, or we're following public figures and celebrities and you see their life just going fast and all these flashing lights in their face and this kind of like uplifted life, and then you look at your own, you look at your reality and you're like, man, it looks nothing like that. I don't know how I'm even, continuing to go in this life if I can't look forward to good things like they do. And it's all just a highlight reel. And I know we hear that, but it's a highlight reel. It is not the full reality of this person's life. Your social media, when you think about it, you're not on social media showing everything that is bad in your life. You're just not. Why? Because you don't want to seem like you're like letting someone down. You don't want to seem like you're Debbie Downer. You just want to show what's good in your life, or you want to show what's positive. And I feel like, y'all, we have to reclaim who we are. One thing I feel like social media can sometimes do is warp your reality of your own identity. It's hard for you to figure out who you are. It's hard to figure out what you like. It's hard to figure out what you don't like, because if you have a gang of people saying this is what the reality is, or this is the standard of beauty, or this is the standard of how much money you should be making, this is the standard of what you should look for in a relationship, this is the standard of where you should be at 20 or 25 or 30, and it's not looking like that in your own life, what are you going to do? You're going to be like, okay, well then really, who am I? When it comes to beginning to understand who you are and who God made you, you don't need to be on social media when you're doing that. You need some time away from it. I, in January, took a full month off of Instagram. I was still on TikTok, but I was only posting because I wanted to showcase my art and photography, and then I would get right off. But then there were moments when I would get off of everything, Instagram, TikTok, and when I tell you the breath of fresh air that came through my body, I literally felt like a new person. I felt like, man, I don't really need it, but I understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like my life feels more meaningful because you're now thinking of things in which you need to do in your life that are going to fill up that space. Whether it's reading a book, it's learning a new recipe, it's going to the park, it's going to work out, going to the gym, it's creating content, maybe, for you to post when you get back on. It's like having that brain to be able to breathe is like nothing. And I feel like sometimes social media can affect our nervous system. It's so much at one time. It is an overstimulating place sometimes, y'all. And here's the thing. I love the good in social media. You can announce things, you can connect with people. And for me as a photographer and artist, I've connected with so many people via Instagram or TikTok, and they booked photo shoots with me, or they wanted art from me. And that's when I'm just like, man, this is the cream of the crop. Like, this is why social media was created, so that we can connect. But then there's funny stuff, then there's clever stuff, then there's think pieces that I get warped into, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so much noise. It begins to be so much noise. Like, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, up here, I'm like, after I get off the phone, I'm looking at, or I'm thinking about what I just saw online for hours. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about that before I got on here. So it's just like, man, let me reclaim my mind back. Let me get it back. And so, y'all, I really do believe that when you take those social media breaks, it's really going to give you back your life. You're gonna take back your life. You're gonna take the keys back from the sinking sand of social media, the mindless doom scrolling. Like, you're gonna take your life back, and you're gonna remember, oh, hold on, I'm a real person in this real life, living real everyday moments. Like, this is not a dress rehearsal of what we call this life. Like, no, I'm really in this world, and it's up to me to take control of how I live it. I think also, like, we have to remember that there is nobody that's gonna live our life for us. There is nobody that is gonna be like, cut, let's do that over. No. This is our real chance to take advantage of who we are in this world, what God has purposed us to do. And listen, y'all, I'm not saying that this is an easy thing. If you feel like you want to wean yourself off, cool, if it's that bad. But if you need to, go cold turkey and just begin to invest in yourself. If you are thinking about it, you need to do it. Even the birds agree with me. Yeah, so they're telling you and me, like, it's time to. I know for me, I take like quarterly breaks off of social media, so like 4 times a year, but then sometimes it's even in between there. Like, I have to just throw it in there like a week, 2 weeks, a month, because man, I need my brain back. And then I'll go and like read books like You Inc. The Art of Selling Yourself. One of my favorite books. I always talk about how good and easy of a read it is about you, and just like understanding yourself and knowing that you literally are the niche. You're the person that people will buy before they buy anything of you. Or you can go into a book like The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind from T. Harv Eker. This one right here is really good that you can dive into on your social media break and, just get your brain moving. Get new vocabulary into your brain and stimulate it in a better way rather than mindlessly scrolling. It just happens like that sometimes. And I think that's the scary part, is that sometimes we don't even notice how sunk in we are. And I encourage you to just think about what your life would be like when you are off of this. What would you do if social media never came into the picture? How would your life look like? What would it feel like? What would your apartment or your room, like, what would you do in there? Like, how would it feel in there? How would your life feel? Would it feel like a movie because you're really doing things? You're getting out the house, you're going to maybe book clubs, going to festivals, going to, I don't know, just great places where you can really learn yourself, know yourself, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy you. It is okay to take yourself out on solo dates. Like, this is the time where you can really invest into who you are and understand the parts of you that you can explain to someone else easily. And listen, y'all, I understand. If it's a struggle to even think about taking this break. I understand, even if it has become your third place. Because listen, social media can be fun. It could be a reliever of the stress of the day because you're watching something so funny, or you're watching something that is giving you life in a way. I get it, but there is so much more life to be lived. There's so much more food for your brain. And I remember listening to this podcast where I believe he was a psychologist or just a really smart person. Who knows? He was basically saying that social media is junk food for the brain. And it made so much sense when he said that. It really is. It's really the food that's not always super edifying. Yes, you can learn things from certain people, which I'm super grateful for, because there's certain things about cooking and stuff that I didn't even know and I learned off TikTok, and I'm grateful for it. But man, what a life to live when you have enough discipline in your muscles, psychological muscles, to really say, you know what? I'm taking a break from that. This is the life that I have now, and I gotta really make the best of it.
No car, don't say your name at the front. You can stay if you want. It's been one of those nights I ain't had in a minute.